Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Suraj Kesi. My student ID is 1453437. Today, I'm going to give a presentation of supply chain of West Farmers and Tata Group. Now, let's move towards the table of content of our presentation. It includes introduction, model, supply chain, strength and weakness of both West Farmers and Tata Group. Now let's move towards the introduction of West Farmers. West Farmers started its beginning in 1914 in Western Australia. Major business tasks includes office supplies, industrial division with organization in synthetics, vitality and compost, and mechanical and different security items. Now let's move towards the model of West Farmers. Talking about the business canvas model of West Farmers, it can be classified into different sections. We have key partners, which includes cooperative stakeholders and different brand groups, which includes Kmart, Coles, Target, and different stores. Key activities includes procurement and logistic, quality control, customer service, and inventory management inside the organization. Now let's move towards the supply chain of West Farmers. For the better supply chain, the company is focused on connecting fairly with their providers and to sourcing morally and economically. Some of the suppliers of West Farmers include West CEF, Coles, Core For better sustainable supply chain relationship, as we can see in the figure, the West Farmers strategy is to corporate strategy for SSCR, integrating supplier sustainability in procurement process, assessing and monitoring suppliers for sustainability, building cooperative supplier relationship, and engaging with stakeholder for supplier sustainability. Now let's move towards the strength and weakness of West Farmers. Some of the strengths includes great returns on capital expenditure. They have got reliable suppliers and they have got strong dealer community which helps them to supply goods and products all around the world easily. Now let's move towards the weakness of West Farmers. Days inventory is high in comparison with others, restricted accomplishment outside central business. So West Farmers are mainly supplying goods and services inside the Australia. So but for in the international market they are a little bit slow. Now let's move towards the Tata Group is an Indian multinational company which headquarters is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. Significant Tata companies and subsidiaries includes Tata Chemicals, Tata Communication, Tata Consumer Products, Tata Motors, etc. Now let's move towards the business model of Tata Group. There are different functions and characteristics of Tata model, which includes focus on the result of business, better adaptability, maintain system perspective, and they supports goal-based diagnosis. Now let's move towards the supply chain of Tata Group. For better supply chain relationship, they tend to have supplier-based trust for better supply of goods and products. As we can see in the figure, there are hundreds of suppliers and vendor parks which supplies goods and services, and the Tata Motors will manufacture different products and items, and they will supply those manufactured product to the customers easily all around the world. Now let's move towards the strength and weakness of Tata Group. Some of the strength of Tata Group includes amazing performance in new market. When they launch new items and products in the market, people are willing to have those products as they make those products by evaluating like customer demands and evaluating the market. So it's easy for them to give a good performance in new market, get great returns on capital expenditure, and they have also got strong suppliers, so that they can it will be easy for them to supply and produce goods and items. Now let's come towards the weakness of Tata Group. The productivity proportion and net contribution percent of Tata are below the business normal. There are gaps in the item range sold by the organization, uh, which will uh, which will lead them to be slow in the international market. As Tata Group is morely based on India, it has not many branches all around the world. So it is hard for them to compete in international market. Now let's move towards the recommendation. For the recommendation for West Farmers, they can develop better customer relationship. They can process better supply chain practice and implementation. so that they can have better suppliers, and they can supply goods and services all around the world easily. They should develop their own brand identity within international market sector. And for the recommendation of Tata groups, they should also look for global outlook focus. They are mainly based inside the India, so their products are mainly supplied throughout the India. But in international market, their products are not that much familiar, so they should focus on international market as well. They should also process for supply chain practice and item improvement, and they should produce quality items, and they should have better supplier network all around the world, so that it will be easy for them to supply goods and services easily around all around the world, and to have name all around the world. Now let's come towards the conclusion of our presentation. On conclusion, we can say that the supply chain of waste farmers is operating effectively for the outcome of quality product to the customers and for the growth of waste farmers industry. And similarly, supply chain of the Tata is also effectively processing for the future development of different products and services through the proper relationship of the suppliers around the international market. This much was for my presentation. Thank you so much.